How is everyone doing tonight? I was racing my 30-second intro and I lost the race. I do not yet have the YouTube highlighted message ready to go. My OBS is getting so messy because every time I do a video, I make new scenes or sources or whatever, and I never delete out the old ones. I need to go through and do some housekeeping on my OBS apparently. But anyways, I'm live. I will be live for the next 60 minutes to maybe 120 minutes, 180 minutes. We'll see where the night takes us. Feel free to leave your questions in chat. I don't think I have, man, my hair's all disheveled. I don't think I have too much to rant on tonight to like get us rolling. I feel like I could, but maybe I'll avoid it. I guess if the questions don't pour in quickly, if the questions don't pour in quickly, I might just set off on a rant that I don't intend to. But the market is doing its market things. There are things that are hot. There are things that are cold. Things that are up, things that are down. We have red lines. We have green lines. My video, I was happy with how that went. I ended up doing 3 titles and 3 thumbnails for that video to see how it went. And yeah, let me talk on Monday's video. So if anyone didn't watch it, I looked at my live stream, my hour live stream, me, PK, Ponga, Spat, Skya, though it was Fanatics, so it's primarily PK Ponga running that as of right now. But I've mentioned on this channel many, many times, and I'll never stop mentioning. I will always be very repetitive. I think every YouTube channel is quite repetitive. It's just, what are they repeating? And does it bear repeating or not? But I think mine bears repeating, so I will continue to do it. I'm never trying to craft narratives. I'm always trying to be very analytical. I'm always trying to be very unbiased. I'm trying to be very, like, just looking at the objective facts, and there's so few. There's so few, like, objective facts. There's so few, like, firm things that I can just, okay, here's the data. Let me figure out how to analyze it. Let me run some kind of an experiment back in the lab. I would vary all these different components of an experiment, and I would see what the output. You can't do that in real life. You can't do that when you have like one stream and you want to try something new and it doesn't go well. Well, you can't try it in 20 different ways. Design of experiment, see which factors affect the output most. You just have one shot to sell these things on every given day. Very anecdotal, very small sample sizes, inherently cumulatively over a long run you can get. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I think the video, I hope I did a good job. I hope people were interested. That, like, if I did want to craft narratives, it would have been so easy. It would have been so easy to take the rocket emoji green line. That's the only title, only thumbnail. Pokemon market only goes up from here. I have the data to prove it. And then I just show you my GMV. And I don't talk about packs because they wouldn't fit my narrative. And if I wanted to do the narrative of, like, doom and gloom and red lines, everything going to zero, everything crashing, if I desired to get people to panic sell to me, which I don't, like, I will gladly buy from anyone. I will gladly sell to anyone. But I don't want you to do it under duress, under distress from anything that I say. I don't want to influence your actions. I want to, as I say, influence you to think for yourselves and make your own choices. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But I've had these ideas to, like, oh, it would be cool to just check in with the live stream every week, every month, every quarter, and say, like, here's what Destined Rivals, Prismatic, and Surging Sparks, and here's how they vary over time. And I have so many, like, big data ideas to do into the future, but every time I try to do it, it's like, this is not apples to apples. This is going to mislead more people than it will help, I think. In many, many times, I found myself, okay, back in March, back in April, back in May, when I was sharing monthly on Instagram, these are the packs we sold the last month. Our schedules were, like, relatively steady. We were doing X amount of streams, and in the coming months, there's going to be a decent, and in the past several months, there's been some upheaval in our strategies. And like a year from now, we're 1 year under our belts through the live streams. A year from now, I can't even tell you what will exist, what will be going on. I have ideas based on what's happening today. I have ideas that, like, I think the biggest contributors to our GMV on Fanatics will be instant rips and pack rips. If you had asked me a year ago, I didn't even know what instant rips was. It wasn't even a thing. It wasn't a thing we could do. And if you had asked me 2 years ago, Dan, what do you think your biggest contributor to your business's GMV will be? eBay sales, eBay vault sales. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, ask me, Troll and Toad Evo sales. The amount of times things change, and I'm not just talking like minor little tweaks, minor little changes. The amount of times that just strategies are entirely just thrown into complete disarray from what was like the intent is wild. And again, I'm not saying that like I'm just saying that in a way that, like, delivering the data over large periods of times like I would hope to do just doesn't feel like something I'll be able to do. Another thing on it too, it's like if I stick my neck out there and share it all, and I do my best, disclaimer Dan, contextualize it all, one, it's long, lengthy videos, and it's hard to like, it's hard to put that all out there. Well, Dan, don't give all the disclaimers, just give us the data. It just feels like it's a lot of sticking my neck out there. It's a lot of like throwing data out there that just people will take the wrong way. Some people will panic because of it. Some people will rocket emoji because of it. It's like, what is there even to gain? I feel like I enjoy those videos from some regards, but just by necessity, I think some of the longer term data plans that I had intended to share, I think some of those are just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to continue the way they are. I think, and this is not some Omega brain strategy to like increase the paywall subscribers by any stretch of the imagination. I barely talk about it, but I think I'm going to save more of it for there, because there I have a captive audience that is paying to be there, that is choosing to be there and paying to that extent. And I have an hour and a half to like really put all the data out there, share the spreadsheet, show my work. And yeah, so some of that will continue a little bit further in the Discord, but who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll start dropping some things here and there, but we'll see. Pokemon Tana says, disappointed you aren't advertising your own instant rips as meaty bags. Yeah, the branding, I mean, it's all there, but Fanatics has such a good product. I'm heavily biased because I sell them, but I love Fanatics' product of instant rips, and I'm not going to muddy the waters with what their branding is. Where's that? Oh, here's the comment here. Yeah, I'm going to try to be a good YouTuber, and I'm going to try to put the comments that I'm addressing on the screen as I address them. But I'm going to scroll back up. There's my little rant about just data. The streams are going really well. Again, if I had this intent, which I never will, if I had the intent to sway people into thinking some narrative or the other, I hope my video Monday demonstrated how easily that could be done. And generally speaking, I've watched hundreds of different YouTube channels. I've watched thousands of videos, thousands of hours of videos. I think the vast majority of people creating content out there, I think they have reasonable intentions. Many of them are profit driven, and I'd be lying if I didn't say that like this YouTube channel to some extent is profit driven. Overall, it's not a very direct high profit driver for my business. Directly speaking, as far as ad revenue goes, things like that, affiliate link links, it's almost nothing for what my net income is on the year. But indirectly, the trust factor, the name, the brand, all that stuff, indirectly, it's highly valuable. So a lot of my motivation for doing what I'm doing is business related, but it's not based on selling you something directly or buying something from me directly. Some people do consign with me, some people sell to me, and so on. But I literally tell you, I tell you, like, if there's a better option for you out there, I'll talk about Snipe, I'll talk about ZNG Emporium, I'll talk about sealed shiz consignments. If like I'm the worst salesman ever, and I think that helps people like me, that helps certain consigners, they might, in certain instances, I am the best option, so they go with me. But some people might go with me even when maybe I'm not their best option at times for certain cards, in certain situations, whatever it may be. They'll go with me because of trust, because of the brand and all that stuff, the openness, the honesty. So yeah, again, I am doing what I'm doing, even at times where it isn't of direct benefit to my business, almost like to a fault. But most channels out there, I can't think of a channel, honestly. I've watched a lot of channels. I can't think of a channel that like completely gives me the vibes that this guy's a scam artist, this gal is a scam artist. They don't believe whatsoever what they're saying. Obviously, worst case scenario, there would be somebody, there would be somebody that would be like buying 1,000 of a card and then pumping it up and dumping it directly, rug pulling the exact card. Like, I don't think that's really existing out there. I think certain people would claim certain channels are that, but I don't see it. I don't feel like there's malicious intent in like a vast majority, if not all the channels I've at least watched. I think there are some individuals out there. I've been called delusional myself for some of my takes, but I think there are some individuals out there that are delusional towards the pessimistic side. They're delusional in thinking every box will go under MSRP, don't buy anything, diamond hands, hold the line, or not diamond hands, hold the line, don't buy anything. It's all going to crash to almost nothing, and you're going to be able to buy SV1 base again for 90 bucks a box, and Dust Unravels is going to go to 70 a box like Fusion Strike did. And like that's delusion of one side. Then there's delusion of the other side. Like Sealed can't go down, Dust Unravels can't go below 300, and like, so there's definitely delusion. But I think both sides of people saying that, I don't think they're like intentionally misleading. I don't think they're intellectually dishonest. I think they truly believe what they're saying. I think there's delusion. I think there's irrational exuberance. I think there's irrational pessimism. But overall, and they might exist. I'm not saying like go and obviously, if you know who I am, you know I'm never saying blindly follow anyone. Listen to what people are saying, consider it, use it to stress test your own beliefs and thoughts and opinions. But yeah, I've never come across anybody that I thought like this is a bad person that is specifically trying to create pessimism so they can buy in bulk from these people, or they're solely trying to pump something they don't believe in. They think this stuff's going to go to zero, and they're trying to get everyone to click their affiliate link to buy, and they're rug pulling and they're dumping and they're like, I've just never seen it. But subconsciously, certain people, if you put certain people in my shoes subconsciously, without intending to do it, they would only show green lines. They would only show rocket emojis, because that is the narrative that they're trying to like confirm. They have preconceived notions that certain things are going to happen, and I'm not going to get too out into the real world, but like there are real world life events that go on, and there's 7 billion people on the planet, and everyone sees the same data, the same facts, the same events, and takes from it very different outcomes. Some of them maliciously. Now, if we go to broader mass media, and I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to name names, but if I was tasked with naming names in the Pokemon space, name somebody who's a bull who is doing it like maliciously with bad intent to rug pull, pump and dump, scam their viewers. I couldn't do it. Name someone who's a bear who's fundamentally trying to like, nobody buy out there so I can buy it all. Name somebody who's trying to scam their following by preventing all their buying so that they can buy it all instead, or some other means of like winning that scam. I genuinely couldn't name a channel that I think like covers that. Now, if you ask me in main media, like name, again, I'm not going to, but like name somebody with this political affiliation who is literally just like scamming their following. I could name people. I could absolutely name people. I don't think we have that in Pokemon. I hope we don't. But yeah, let me with all that, again, I'm terrible at summarizing things. What could have been a 3-minute rant intro I'm turning it into 20 minutes. But so insert 20 different people. Take 20 different YouTubers and put them in my shoes. I think few of them will make the video that I made Monday saying, here's the bear video, here's the bull video, here's the facts. Like, it's up, it's down, things have changed, here's the nuance, here's the spreadsheets, here's the data, whatever. Few would make that. And I think there's several that would make the video that talked about GMV and record GMVs and number go up, and not necessarily trying to mislead, but they would be all rocket ships only with the same stream data that I have. And then you'd have half the people that would be like, oh no, packs have slowed down a lot and packs are too expensive and no one's buying them, kids aren't opening them, and it's gonna shake the hobby to its core in the coming years. And that could happen, but like, again, there would be people that would paint one narrative, paint another one. Anyways, I think that's everything I have. Thank you, Brad G Cards, for being in here. 86 viewers, question mark. This guy fell off. So Brad G pointing out, I've 88 watching now as I look. There's been times that I've had 200. There's been times that I had 100. There's been times that I had 50. The data is the data. How much of it is me lacking, slacking, making bad content? How much of it is the boom, not booming, or booming more? I mean, I could have 40, I could have 100, but the number is 88. So I don't know what to make of that. It's just the number. I'm going to scroll back up now, and I'm going to do what I always do. 20 minutes in, I'm going to go to the chat. I'm going to be here with you guys with the chat until we get to the end of the chat. So I could be live for an hour. I could be live for 3 hours. It is choose your own adventure. So choose wisely. Ask me any question in the comments, and I will address it when I get to it. If you want to cut the line, the super chats are always there. If you want to subscribe, if you're not yet, rarely do I shout these things out. But your name will show up here if you're the latest subscriber, if you want to see that. I think a little lawnmower will go somewhere if I have that set up properly. Such a bad YouTuber, half the time I forget to have that set up. But let's see. We had Cheeks Galore 209 that said hit that like button, which encouraged me to say hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Kiki is a proud member of the Fence Gang. Could be an interesting one tonight. My Sealed is doing great. Go Team Green Arrow. What's going on tonight? Just hanging out. Alexander's excited. Timothy is excited. Garen is excited as well. Thank God, green lines and a placid face Dan. Feels like a red light kind of night. I may or may not have spent over an hour today on the phone with our friends over at Chase Bank. I have a story if we want to get into it later, but I figured I wouldn't start with that. I don't think, at this point, it's expected enough that I don't think it'll turn the lights red, but we'll see what happens. When crypto pumps again, Pokemon cards will pump. Potentially. There are definitely people out there that have a lot of money from crypto, and there's definitely some of that spills into Pokemon. I have sold some Pokemon for crypto. I have sold some Pokemon for cash that came from people who had millions of dollars from crypto. So, how are you feeling about the Metazoo auction in the state of New Zoo? I'm so bad at promoting my own auctions and things. Part of it is Fanatics back end is messed up right now. I hope it's fixed in the coming weeks or month or whatever. But I can't even go to my selling page and see all the items that are ending this week. I have to go to the public facing side, and I have to either keep track of what I schedule as I schedule it, or I have to go into my vault and see a million things. It's messy. I forgot I had Torrential Tides hits. CGC graded Torrential Tides cards I had ending Sunday. Kiki, you messaged me last night and told me I got obliterated. I still haven't looked. I still haven't looked to verify what the prices were. Talk about New Zoo a little bit. Overall, sealed product is low. Let me pull it up on eBay. Sealed product is low right now. I know I'm not sharing my screen. I just want to look quick what base set Metazoo boxes. I want to say low list is like 70 for base set. No, 65. 60, yeah. 60 to 65 for base set. And then Torrential Tides is Torrential Tides is similarly 60, high 50s, low 60s, $72. Like it's It's around wholesale. It's around wholesale. I'm not going to say exactly what wholesale is, but actually base set and torrential tides are both available on eBay buy it now for lower than I paid wholesale for both of them. Not great. Doesn't feel good. Doesn't look good. Torrential tides is actually like buy my numbers, buy what I was selling, all the hidden rares, the legend rares for, it's like slightly plus EV. I'm going to crack some more of my torrential tides and just put the singles on eBay because it's taking up space. It's not selling sealed. I'm not going to sell the sealed for a loss. The streams have not gone well with it. Hopefully, Secret Shadows can be kind of a bump to the business. Hopefully, Secret Shadows coming not too long after Halloween, that like dark theme. Hopefully that does well. Appreciate you. I changed the meta subscribing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Metazoo in the future. Secret Shadows, we'll see what happens. Again, I don't have like any back end data to share or anything. I just see what the public sees as well. And I'd imagine Secret Shadow, like it's reasonable to presume if people bought base and people bought torrential tides and then they quickly went to sub wholesale, torrential tides went there quicker than base set did. I'd imagine people are ordering less, but like what am I doing? So talk, theorizing, subjective guesswork. I'm ordering 840 boxes of Secret Shadows. So I'm still going. I'm ordering 600 boxes of full pallet to Skya. Skya's gonna mass rip them all and put them on eBay. I'm gonna CGC Fanatics auction some of them. I'm going to keep it going and see what happens. I'll make more Metazoo videos in the future. I'll address how things are going in the future. But as of right now, it's definitely rocky. Hopefully something turns the tides in pun intended. Hopefully something turns the tides in 2026 for Metazoo. Cardboard123 said Dustin rivals to MSRP and beyond. Zuko is here for the Dan rant. Jonathan Perry says, so I've been getting back into OSRS and was wondering, did you ever play OG RuneScape or just when OSRS came out, and what's your plan for November 12th with selling? I wanted to play Gridmaster, but I haven't had the time. I might start Gridmaster like this weekend and just play a few hours of it, kind of screw around and see how it is. I did play back in the day. I used to sell holiday rares at Fally East Bank, or Fally somewhere. I used to sell units at Fally East Bank. I used to play back in like 06, 07, 08. Actually like 04, 05, 06, and so on. I quit shortly after, I think, the Evolution of Combat, when a lot of people quit. I didn't necessarily quit because of that. I quit because like I went to college, and I played a little bit in college, but not much. Thoughts on the post made by the president of Upper Deck today? President of Upper Deck. I'm looking at a sports card investor Facebook post. Upper Deck president Jason Mashera weighed in on the state of the hobby this week, from rising wax prices to increased speculation. He says the current market is being carried by the top 10% of spenders, and that could spell trouble if momentum shifts. I almost just showed my phone number. Facebook, I'm not going to share Facebook because it's trying to log me into my account, and it showed my I almost just showed my phone number on YouTube, which I'd rather not. Yeah, now it's showing. I'm not going to show Facebook. I guess what I can do is safer. Let me do this. I'm going to screenshot Facebook. So shout out to Sports Cards Investor. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to insert. Bear with me. So here's Sports Cards Investor's post. I did not see this before. So he said, everything speculative is up right now. The stock market, Bitcoin, trading cards, and it's pricing some collectors out. Here's what the data shows. 50% of consumer spending in the US is coming from 10% of the population. Rich people are carrying the market, not just in cards, but across every category. Concert tickets, $1,000 for nosebleeds. Luxury goods selling faster than ever. High-end collectibles moving at record prices. When boxes cost $1,000 or more, you're not buying for fun anymore. You're speculating. You're betting that what you buy today will be worth significantly more tomorrow, and that works until it doesn't. I think this is a reasonable take on the current market. I think a lot of us have found ourselves in the past 5 years, counting the last boom, counting this boom, I think a lot of people have found themselves asking, like, who is buying this stuff? I don't know anyone in my day-to-day life. The people that I know in my day-to-day life that engage with Pokemon, they play a little Pokemon Go. They play a little Pokemon Unite. They buy some packs here and there. They talk about how hard it is to find Prismatic on the shelves at, like, wherever they buy cards. I don't know people in my day-to-day life, like, buying these crazy, crazy record prices that you see James post. These crazy record prices that I post on occasion, selling through Fanatics. I don't know people who are engaging heavily, like wailing around on GameStop power packs or Fanatics instant rips or in Fanatics live streams. I do have some data. But I'm quite transparent. But like Fanatics does show who our top 20 spenders are, and they break it down some, and that feels like a little bit more transparent than I would like to share. But vaguely, I will say that like there are a few amount of spenders that carry a large amount of the GMV. I'm not going to share exact percentages, but Pareto principle is a thing out there. 20% of the consumers usually lead to 80% of the GMV. It is like a Pareto principle type thing. It might be more drastic than that. It might be more slanted. So what does that mean exactly? I don't entirely know. I think there's a lot of speculation out there. It could go up a lot more. It could go flat for a while. It could crash very badly at any time too. And I just don't know what's going to happen. That is what I always say. But that's a very interesting post. Not that the president of Upper Deck is guaranteed to have just Nostradamus-like foresight. I say that sarcastically because Nostradamus is a very fun. He's a very fun individual. Just throwing a million quotes out there, writing books full of quotes that like people attribute to certain events that happened thousands of or hundreds of years later. I forget when Nostradamus is from, but he just said super vague things, and then like, oh, he said that about this terrorist attack or about this big event, and it's all just so vague you can make it fit almost anything. Anyways, if crypto went away tomorrow, Pokemon would be just fine. I don't think it's as connected as the masses think. I think it would have some effect, but yeah, will Pokemon go to zero if crypto goes to zero? I don't think so. No. Will crypto go to zero, or will, like Pokemon could die, the world could largely be the same. Crypto could die. Crypto dying would have more of an effect on the world, I would think, just inherently because the market cap is trillions of dollars. But the world could exist without either. The world 30 years ago did exist without either. Less than that ago for crypto. Hello, Dan. What are your thoughts on the massive reprint rumors? I think they are printing 12 plus billion cards a year. I don't know how many of those have already come out. I think very reasonably. I was talking to Rick Aarons. Rick Aarons, like of former involvement with the Pokemon Company and WotC and all that stuff. He has good insights into like the history of Pokemon and the markets and all that stuff. And he talked about how like in these coming months, I talked to him at Seattle Card Party. In these coming months is generally going into the holiday season. Pokemon wants product out there. Pokemon wants cards under your Christmas tree, right? So it's reasonable. It happens historically around this time, I think, that dumps have come. Will it be enough? What will be the quantity? I have no clue. But like today compared to 2 months ago, I'm definitely getting more product from my distro. I'm definitely getting Paldean Fates booster bundles and Prismatic booster bundles and tech sticker collections and ETBs and Wave 2 of Mega, and like I'm getting more in general today than I was getting a few months ago. And prices are kind of showing that. How much of that is the reprints come in? I know, like, I think it's talked about a lot. It's talked about a lot that like if and when reprints happen, only the reprinted things will be affected. The reprinted things will be affected most drastically. But like, if and when Destined Rivals actually goes to $100 a box, I don't think it will. I think it will go under MSRP per pack, maybe not necessarily for the box, but if and when Destined goes under 100, that could have some effect. Like that, like Sun and Moon sets will not be reprinted. XY sets will not be reprinted. But if you have a broader just downturn in the hobby, those might come down 10, 20%, 30%. Like Destined Rivals might come down 50, 60% because it's a brand new set and it's double MSRP. But I think I think again, I always get caught up in like some people are way too one side, some people are way to the other. Dan's firmly on the fence where he should be, looking at the market from his tall fence. And yeah, some people are just very unreasonable. Like, oh, they could print Destined Rivals down to $70 a box, like they have with other sets in the past, and it won't affect any other box aside from Destined. Well, the market, I promise you, if this market sees Destined go sub 100, some people will have their sentiments affected on their Sword and Shield and on their other SV, and like, what percentage? I don't know. Like, more people need to say I don't know more often. It's boring, but it's more correct. But again, I don't think people talk out of their backside maliciously. I think people genuinely think they have a handle on everything. I think they have an idea what's going to happen when they have no clue. Question, why is Prismatic figure collection so expensive in the USA? 230 is so high compared to UK where it's 160. Supply and demand. Supply and demand exists. With tariffs now, geographical arbitrage is more difficult. So you can have regional situations where graded cards, promos, like raw singles, sealed products, there can be a big disconnect in different geographies. And that will always be a thing in inefficient markets, not non-fungible, inefficient markets like Pokemon. Market is still very strong. No one to blame but yourself for the folks that bought Destined Rivals for $500. If people, yeah, I obviously, I never tell people what to do or not to do, but I tell people why I'm not buying Destined Rivals at full market price. I tell people why I'm buying it at a percentage to sell it in the streams, and why I'm generally selling all the other inventory that I have. But people will do with that what they will, and like I ultimately, I don't want people to be harmed. I don't know what's gonna happen though, so I can't tell people what to do, what not to do. But yeah, that is what it is. The blue artwork in the back is sick. Is that the Cynthia one, or you're talking about Blue himself? Is this Blue with Blastoise? Who's this with Blastoise? Maybe that's Blue. I've noticed the swings in our business have to move with the time. Something is on fire. Gotta feed it. Absolutely. The gambling aspect of Pokemon is getting more efficient. Very scary. Has selling on eBay Live been similar to selling on Fanatics? Pros, cons for each? They've been quite different, actually. So Spat is live right now, I believe. I believe you can go find Spat on Catch 'em All Collectibles eBay Live. Let me double check if he's there. Are we live right now? Let me see. Oh yeah, it looks like he's live right now. So go check Spat out there if you're interested. But eBay, we have not sold packs nearly as well as we sell on Fanatics. Fanatics, generally speaking, very big generalization, at least the following that we've curated on Fanatics versus eBay. Fanatics is better for packs, and it's way worse for Japanese. eBay is therefore better. It's better for singles, worse for packs, and it's better for Japanese. That's like the broad brushstrokes that I can paint with. But they're both solid selling platforms. We're doing good business on both. If GameStop was really smart, they would have temporarily tripled the odds and lost money for a few weeks to get their customers hooked. Hook the slots for a while. That I quite certain. Please, GameStop, don't do that if you're listening. I think that would be quite illegal. They are posting the odds publicly. If they're posting the odds publicly, this percent for this value, this percent for this value, if they're posting something that is fundamentally untrue, not through a technical glitch that they didn't intend for or whatever, that would be illegal. That would be misleading customers. They would be running afoul of many, many laws, I'm quite certain. So that they would be very, very dumb to do that. That is not my opinion. That is objective statement of fact. They would be very dumb. Now, do you want them to have some promotional thing where they say your odds are slightly increased to get a chase card? Like that, okay. Show the base rates, say that the odds are 20% better. I understand something like that. Promotionally lose money for a short time. But Please no. Please no. Did you see Whatnot's recent valuation? $12 billion or something? I did see that. They are booming. They are booming. Dan, how's the cell phone debt journey going? I'm holding in there. 35 months to go. $1.66 a month for the next 35 months. It doesn't feel good, but I'm surviving. Auto pay, so it comes out automatically. How's it going, Booster Boys Card Shop? Bird Burglar says, can I get red light Dan before my wife gets induced tonight? Induced? Are you having a child tonight or tomorrow? If so, congrats. Don't be getting yourself in trouble watching a Dan stream while the wife is heavy breathing, ready to push. Congrats, good luck, all that stuff, if I am interpreting that message correctly. Question, watch your "You Are Hurting Yourself" video and took it seriously. Over the past week have been getting my reseller, sir. Are there any other resources you recommend for someone like me? So in that video, I linked a couple of my own videos, but if you wanna go outside the umbrella of Catch 'em All Collectibles, which I would highly encourage you do. I am not a CPA. I am not a tax attorney. I am not like local to you and knowing your circumstances. Other resources I would recommend: go to your county building, talk with somebody in the small business wing of your county building, and see if there's any other resources for you. See if there's any other thing that you can do. Check out Not Your Dad's CPA on YouTube. He's an actual accountant that makes videos about taxes when it comes to being a reseller on eBay and elsewhere. So Not Your Dad's CPA, talk with people, professionals, CPAs, local to you. Those are the best places to start, I think. Who's your go-to consignment on eBay now that Probstein's gone? So Probstein is temporarily gone, but he's coming back, and he's coming back with Snipe. Snipe is supposed to be coming out like next week. Not affiliated whatsoever. In the future, like I do for eBay, I might have an affiliate link with Snipe in the future. I believe it's a feature they're gonna offer, but I won't be like partnered with them. I won't be getting direct money from them. It would only be like click my affiliate link, buy something, and then I get a cut. But I'm gonna try Snipe. I'm gonna be a guinea pig on Snipe. I have a package I'm sending to him tomorrow. I think he already has 1 or 2 there from me. I'm probably gonna send a handful tomorrow. I'm probably gonna have, when Snipe launches next week, I'm gonna have 20-25 grand worth of stuff going in like some of the first weeks, some of the first batches. And I might get destroyed. If I get destroyed, I won't be buying my own items because you can't do that, but I will be buying other items. Hopefully other people are being guinea pigs with me, and if I'm getting wrecked, there will be other things that I'm buying, wrecking those consigners. So hopefully I'll survive and be fine. Let me continue on. But other than that, Fanatics used to do sealed. I used to be able to consign sealed. And someday, some way, somehow, maybe it'll come back. If and when it does, I will show you my rates. Where are my rates? My OBS is horrifically crowded. Where are my rates? I don't even have them here. I must have accidentally... Yeah, Fanatics fees. Here we go. So, yeah, here are my massive rates covering everything. There we go. Now they're more reasonably sized. So, I used to be able to consign sealed Pokemon product for these rates. Someday in the future, maybe that comes back. If so, like, stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow along, follow me on Instagram. If and when that comes back, I will scream it from the rooftops, loud and proud. It would be great timing for it to happen because Probstein is gone. I think DC Sports is now doing sealed on eBay. I can't think of other ones. There probably are other ones, but I'm not sure. Congrats, Mr. Turd Burglar. No better way to mentally prepare yourself than a Dan Live. Yeah, for sure. Where are we? By the way, I love the nuance you give in your takes. Very refreshing compared to most. Thanks, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate the appreciation. I make this content like knowing that it's not as mainstream, and that's entirely fine with me. I think there's nothing wrong with making the mainstream content that gets more views and stuff. And again, I think most people making it like aren't even, they don't have bad intent. And many people just make pure entertainment. They open packs or they talk about the market, and it's purely entertainment, not with any intent towards investing or whatever. So a lot of people just make content that's inherently fine. I think it's fine to talk. It's not my taste, but like it's fine to talk about drama and to talk about news and to talk about the newest sets and your favorite arts, and all that stuff's fine. It's just it's not content I would enjoy making, so I don't make it. You've clearly never watched Pokeflips. Had a quick call with Probstein about his new platform. Looks like the first wave of auctions will be run 2 weeks, and they will start advertising soon. I've seen the have you seen the platform, and what are your thoughts? I've seen it. I did a Zoom call with Rick, and he showed me he showed me a little demo of it. He placed a bid, and then the bids went up and the snipe went in, and it's probably gonna be a little clunky. It's probably gonna be a little bit like rough around the edges because it's a very new platform. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna give it a shot. I think I can't say there's gonna be no harm from it. There could be harm. I could lose a bunch of money. I could lose a bunch of money if I just sold it elsewhere, privately, Instagram, whatever, for 85, 90%. But I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. I sold a lot of stuff through Probstein on eBay, so I'm gonna try Snipe. Trying to be like Dan and Radar, should I buy all the Bulbasaur box toppers and sell once they go up like the Pikachu Van Gogh? I will never advise people to buy or not buy or sell, or I'll never tell people to do anything. I'm not buying the Bulbasaurs. I'm not buying the Bulbasaurs in bulk. If and when someone offered me 400 of them, I might buy them. I would have to take a closer look. I honestly, I couldn't tell you what the price of them is today, but there's a number where like if someone offered me the right amount of the right percent, I would buy a lot of them. I generally like the artwork. I like the card. It's Bulbasaur. It's #1 in the Pokédex. It's there's a lot of them. They're put on top of mass printed boxes, but I generally like it. So yeah, there would be a number, but I'm not actively doing it right now. My predictions for the market, without going into this into too much, is that prices surge at 30th anniversary, then Gen 10 caused a huge crash. What are your thoughts of the market the next year or two? Like, I don't know. I just fundamentally don't know. I could tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I had 100,000 packs for the live streams. That felt like way too much. They could continue going up. Some of them have been giving back some gains in the past month or two. I'm trying to liquidate 30 or 40,000 booster packs right now to get down to like 50 to 60,000 booster packs ideally. I might regret that. We might boom through the 30th. The $100,000-$200,000 worth of packs that I sell in the next weeks, months, they might be worth double that in a year. They could be worth half that in a year, and I could be really glad that I leaned out that inventory. I could be wishing I leaned out the inventory a lot more. I truly don't know. Anyone who tells you guaranteed through the 30th only goes up, guaranteed is going to crash, nobody knows. And I don't care to speculate as much as many people will. I just tell you what I'm doing and why. But looking at past sets, the Mythical Mew collection, Generations, it was hot. It was crazy. You couldn't find it. It was going nuts. Those pin collections that I was buying wholesale for $8 a piece, $8.15 a piece. The secondary market was just nuts on them. Multiples of what I was paying at wholesale. And by the time the third, fourth release came out, they were just around. They were widely available. I believe most of the 30th anniversary sets will be widely available under MSRP at some point. I believe Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, at some point in the next 18 months will be available under MSRP. So I think that tells you. I think that tells you that I'm not generally as bullish on buying a 2-day-old set, a 2-day, 2-week, 2-month-old set for double MSRP. I know people that have been around for a long time that have a lot of capital, putting a lot of capital into like Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals and Prismatic Evolution right now. And I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it in that way. And maybe I missed the train. But I'm loading up on like X, Y, and Sun and Moon loose packs right now this week. I've spent 40 grand this week on an X, Y, and Sun and Moon loose pack collections. I've been buying Sword Shield. I had 2 carloads land Monday on collections that I bought that were largely like Sword Shield, Sun, Moon, little bit Scarlet Violet that I'm gonna sell a lot of it. SE1 through SE5 I feel are generally safer. SV8 through SV10 and on are less safe, I think, because they're so much newer. So yeah, that's my general thoughts around all that. Question, you've mentioned how you think instant rips and GameStop buying slabs is a large driver of the market boom, vending likely having a similar effect. How do you think these things will age? I think they'll be around for a long time. Courtyard is a thing that's been around for like 5 years. GameStop power packs, I think, are new to a lot of people, but the idea is not new. It's been around for at least 5 years. I think it'll be around 5-10 years from now. Will it be bigger than it is? Will it be smaller than it is? Regulation theoretically could take it away, but I don't think it will. It's not gambling per se. Like, people are definitely gambling with it, but it's no more gambling than a booster pack is. The EV of them is way better, and I don't see it ever being regulated the way as being gambling, since literal gambling is legal. I don't think these digital rips will be legislated away. Ketchum keeps it too real for most people, but I love it. I definitely have a particular flavor of content that is antiviral, as I say. Thoughts on this market? Rudy thinks we have about 3 months left of a slow market before it starts going up again. What are your personal opinions on this and for the next year with the 30th anniversary? Very similar question to what I had above. I have no idea. I'm trying to maintain a healthy cash portion so that if and when things go down, I will be able to buy quite a bit. But like, there's so much product out there. If I make a hot buy list that's a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too high, and let me show my hot buy list. Shout out to that. I'm buying these items, these packs, these prices. If you're interested in selling to me, I've made hot buy lists that were a little bit too juicy, that were a little bit too hot, and I've been offered $150,000 worth of one sets packs. I went too high one time with 151, and I had a botter offer me 10,000 packs. 10,000. Well, that wouldn't have been $100,000, but I had a botter offer me like 15,000 packs at one point when I was paying $9 a pack on 151, nearly $150,000. I've gone a little bit too hot with my hot buy list. If and when things start to go down, it could get ugly relatively quickly. The amount of people that I have offering me their collector apps at 90%, and it's 6 figures of inventory, it's high. I'm getting offered them all the time. And in the past week, maybe this is a top signal, maybe they had extenuating circumstances, I don't know. But I had somebody that offered me their stuff like a couple months ago for 95% they wanted. And it's like, no thank you, pass. And then they sat on the same email chain. They're like, hey, I'm looking to sell this. I kind of need to get rid of it now. The number was lower. Like the new number was lower. And I think I had offered originally 80%, and I'd ended up going down closer to 70%. Partially because my inventory levels have changed, and I had some more of the stuff. I didn't need some of the stuff they were selling as much anymore. And my liquidity was like generally lower when they hit me up this time. And I'm trying to get my liquidity higher. So they told me no, and they were diamond handing to like 90-95% a couple of months ago. And then they just sold it to me now for a lot less money. Is that like, could that happen more in the future? Absolutely. It's happened in the past. I remember declining certain collections in 2021 and then buying from that same person the same items for a lot less money a year later. If and when those opportunities come up, like I'll be ready to buy them. Will I have infinite money to buy everything? No, because I have a lot of money tied up. I have a lot of money tied up in inventory. I'm trying to offload 10, 20, 30, 40,000 packs potentially. But I'm buying things every day. I'm selling things every day. And I've been a net seller for the past week, but barely. I've sold, from those stories that I made a couple weeks ago, I sold $100,000 worth of packs, but I've also bought $100,000 worth of collections. So it's like, it's hard to slow down the buying. Fact checked. If I saw you post your torrential tides auctions, for sure I would have bid. Yeah, I was very bad at not advertising for myself. If someone sent you a ripped booster box, would you send it back? What did you buy? Did you buy? That's where if you're buying a stock photo, this gets into semantics that I don't want to deal with. Like, technically, the wrapping is just that. Like, if you go on to Amazon and you buy a booster box of Destined Rivals, a lot of people want sharp corners and they want tight wrap and they want no tears or anything. Technically speaking, like, the product is the cards inside. If your intent was to open it, I would just open it and it's like, who cares that there was a big gash in the thing? But if you're a sealed collector investor, you do want that to be nice. But are you buying it from somebody with a stock photo who's sold 10,000 items, who has negative feedback for having damaged items come in the mail? Like, buy one with exact photos. Pay a little bit more for someone to double box it. Whatever. That's my stance on that. Have you ever thought about how big vintage could pop if the big money in modern started toying with it with low pops? It's kind of a meme. Imagine if the market cap of Gray Felt Hat Pikachu went into Jungle First Edition Hollows. Pick your favorite WotC set. Pick whatever. But it's a meme in certain circles. But like, it could happen. I just netted a $30,000 profit on a PSA 10 base for his Venusaur. I bought it for 17 grand through Landry Pop auctions because it felt like a little too low. It literally sold for less money than a black label McDonald's Pikachu, a black label Big Macachu. So I'm like, let me buy this. Let me transport this into the future, a month or two, and I think I'm going to make more money. I'm also going to put it on a better platform than Landry Pop auctions. I'm going to put it on Fanatics. I sold it for $55,000 and it was paid. And netted a $30,000 profit. I do that from time to time. I wasn't investing in that Venusaur card. I was speculating. I was short-term speculating, momentum-based play. And I'm quite transparent. I talk about a lot, but I don't talk about everything. I don't talk about everything. I have some of those plays like always cooking to some extent in the background. I definitely have a little bit more of that going on right now. I'm buying some base first and then just selling it weeks and months later. Sometimes different platforms, sometimes cracking a card, grading it somewhere else. But PSA 10 base first Charizard could be $1 million card someday. That PSA 10 base first Venusaur I sold for 55 grand. That could be $1 million card in 10, 20, 30 years. Like, I have no idea. That stuff truly, if you look at the pop and the market cap and stuff of some of these sports cards, and like the Jake's done the deep dive data in Patreon before, but the market cap of like the 86 Fleer Jordan dwarves like all of WotC combined, or at least it did before the recent boom that we're in. So, but that said, like I'm not deeply investing in that. I'm lightly speculating in that a little bit here and there. Your opinion, the Pokemon sealed item PSA 10 slab and raw card that is slept on that no one would think will go up faster at all, minus PC Shrouded Fable ETB case, new box toppers greater than raw. I'm not really the channel for that. I tell people what I'm buying and why. I didn't buy the Gray Felt hats as like a Galaxy Brain play that I thought they were gonna soar. I didn't think they were gonna go up. I didn't buy 400 Big Macachus Galaxy Brain play because I knew they were gonna go up. I watched YouTube videos where people say, "Oh, I knew the Burger Chew was gonna go up, and I have 10 of them to show for it. Look at all my gains. I made hundreds of dollars." And it's like, I don't have nearly the conviction you do on anything you say. Yet I buy a lot more, and I know proportional, blah blah blah. Not everyone has the same capital, but like it's just funny how people get so confident in certain things, and then they talk about the ones that happen, and then everyone forgets about the ones that they guaranteed that didn't happen. Nice big rant there, but I just don't really do this. I don't buy any of these things at 100% of market price, hoping they'll go up. I buy everything at a lower percentage, and sometimes I make a swing trade, a momentum play like the Venusaur, but I'm short term, buying low, selling at a higher percentage. And Brad in shambles. We got 150 viewing right now. Brad, we're up. We're booming. Look at the market. Green lines, rocket emoji. Since you made your little poke, the viewership has almost doubled. Brad G in shambles. Oh yeah, I didn't answer your question though. The Zoom call with Rick was free. I had a Zoom call with Rick Probstein. I've sold multi 6 figures through him this year. I was shocked that I had a Zoom call with him directly. I thought it was going to be with one of his employees, but then he hopped on the Zoom call, so that was interesting. Thoughts on holding the Costco Sam collection boxes tins? Seems like easy money to pick these up off the instant flippers on product drops with quick upside potential. Lucario boxes pushing 120. I don't like all that air. I don't have the space. I'm actually, I know someone's gonna poke at me here. Someone's gonna hit me with the fisherman meme. But I have like a back outbuilding. I have like a 2-stall detached garage at my house. I can't keep Pokemon in it because it is like falling apart. The building was just, I'm not like a contractor, but my uncle is. My uncle looked at it. My dad looked at it. It was just built incorrectly. It was never built to be like a finished building anyways, but it's like, it's more of a pole barn than anything. And if I were to do, like, I can't fix it up. It's built so fundamentally wrong that it would just need to be demolished and rebuilt. But this boom, all this stuff that's going on has me contemplating rebuilding that garage and turning it into a little Pokemon warehouse. Visiting Rusty in the summer, Charlotte Cuticon. He's expanded some of his space and trying to keep up with the Joneses a little bit. The things that I say not to do, but no, I'm actually considering, like, I think there's a reasonable business case for me to make playing in some of the more voluminous, more airy products. But right now, I just can't do it. I had Monday 2 carloads land, and my garage is like a staging area. Nothing really lives there very long. It comes in, things get broken down, and they get sent to Ponga and PK, and things get sent to Sealed Shiz consignments, and they get sent to Probstein consignments, and they get sent to Snipe, and I kind of move things relatively quickly. But when a pallet of new product lands, it's tight. I don't have a lot of room to navigate around it. So like I don't touch the airy stuff. I live out in the woods, and theoretically I could get crazier in my basement. I could get crazier in other areas in my space, but like I might get really crazy, and I might just build myself a 40 by 25 or a 40 by 30 like detached garage / Pokemon warehouse. We'll see what happens. Question, can you legally sell something to your business as an individual? Like, can Dan sell a case of Evolving Skies to catch 'em all collectibles? If you're trying to find some IRS hates this one simple trick, that's not gonna be a thing. Whatever like money you spend as a business will be a gain that you need to pay taxes on personally. So like if you're trying to find some like loophole here, some fancy footwork, that's not a thing. But absolutely, if you begin a business and you have a former collection that you acquired, like no intent for resale, you can convert that to inventory. There are means with which to do that. Go watch a Not Your Dad CPA. He has some good videos on exactly that. He has some good videos on like, hey, I used to be a collector, now I'm an evil business flipper. How do I account for that in my books with the IRS and all that? He has videos on that. Pray to Arceus is the sweatiest Pokemon Unite player. I've never played myself, but I have a friend who plays quite a bit. Thoughts on every collector becoming a reseller / card sale vendor? I say it all the time. Honestly, a good savvy collector who wants to be more optimized tax-wise. Make sure you're doing it above board. Avoid, don't evade. But inventory is significantly more advantageous than collection. I started my journey in Pokemon, having done it former in coins, having done it former in video games and steins and stuff. I always saw my stuff as an inventory. I started with $5,000. That was done as a business though. I had a DBA and I had resale certificate. I had certificate of authority. I had all that stuff because I knew I was a savvy individual. I knew I'm not going to die with this stuff. I intend to resell it all someday. And it's so much more advantageous to build an inventory than to build a collection. If you know, you know. It yeah. Use the tax code to your benefit. Light's not red enough. First, they need to get Prismatic below MSRP before you aim for Destined Rivals. I've been buying Prismatic, and I know not everyone can do this. I know it's not widely available there. But I am buying Prismatic right now at $6 something a pack. And I was buying it several months ago for like $12 a pack when some people were saying it was a good buy. And certain items, certain SKUs have gone up. But generally, Prismatic has gone down. The way that I care about Prismatic, this is why I say same arena, different games. We are in the arena of Pokemon, but I'm playing a different game with different rules. I'm a streamer. I run a streaming operation. I'm not a streamer myself. PK Ponga are, but all we care about Prismatic for is the packs. We care about the packs. The packs are $8.95 now. They were $12, $13, $14, and I was buying them for $11. Right now they're $8.95. I'm buying them for $6.27. And I've bought hundreds this week. I've bought hundreds of packs this week. We're actually selling a lot of Prismatic every week lately. I need to up my percentage from 70 to 75% soon, probably. Otherwise, we're gonna run out of Prismatic packs. But yeah, I think they'll get there. I think the per pack price market will be below MSRP, and I think I'll be paying less than that. I think I'll be paying $4 a pack for Prismatic. If I'm wrong, people will say it's impossible. Dan, I guarantee that won't happen. Dan, you're delusional. Okay, those are words. Those are words. Use your, say whatever you want to say. I don't care. I have my prediction, and I'm walking the walk in line with my prediction. And if and when it goes to 4, I want to compile 25,000 packs of Prismatic. I want to have $100,000 of Prismatic at $4 a pack. If and when it gets there, I will. If and when your favorite influencer, favorite YouTuber that says they'd buy it all if it went to 0, they'll probably sell it all to me for $4 a pack, if and when that actually happens. Keep that in mind, because I promise you that happens. Thoughts on the 30th anniversary? I'm excited for it. I don't know what more to add than that, but I'm excited for that. I'm grading some Metazoo. I'm grading through CGC Fanatics and then auctioning them CGC graded on Fanatics. Do you ever ask your kids if the kids at their school are into Pokemon cards? I know specifically which kids are into Pokemon in their classes and which ones aren't. My wife, I send goodies all the time. She has, it's funny. I actually was having this conversation with her a week or two ago. But one of the days she had a student, she has some kind of currency in her classroom, some kind of reward points the kids can get. And X amount of reward points, they can buy candy. X amount of reward points, they can buy like Pokemon packs. My wife has in her classroom, she has like Stellar Crown. She has like Surging Sparks. She has, I sent her with like a couple sets, couple packs from almost every set. I might have sent her with a 151 pack for prizes for the year. And there are kids that pick like equal cost or like similar cost. There are kids that pick like Airheads over $7, $8 booster packs of Pokemon cards. It's like they could just spend their points on the Pokemon cards. They could refer to my buy list at my website, and they could they could sell them back to my wife, the president of Catch 'em All Collectibles Incorporated, the vice president of Catch 'em All Collectibles Incorporated, and then they could buy 20 Airheads, or I don't know how much Airheads cost, but it's like it's funny. It's funny to see in her market, in the market of Mrs. Catch 'em All Collectibles classroom, certain candies that have a street value of a quarter or whatever. They're trading as high as booster packs of Pokemon cards that on the open market trade for $8, $10 a piece. It's like going back to the geographical arbitrage, supply demand. Like her classroom has its own currency. Her classroom has its own market participants, and they create values based on what they value, and they have their own currency that they it's like a microcosm of some of the things that occur in real markets. It's a very small scale, very anecdotal, very like all that stuff. But it's actually fascinating when you think about it. Bunch of Timmies. Yeah. Which Airhead flavor though? Airheads was made up. I can't remember which candy she said she has there. But what are they even teaching in there? You mean she doesn't post the buy list on the whiteboard? She has a smart board in there. I need to find a way. Since I'm talking about the buy list, I should segue into this section of the live stream. Shout out to my buy list. This video is sponsored by my buy list. If you care to, catchemallcollectibles.com/pages/buy list. I'm gonna show you a new tab too while we're here. But here is the landing page for my website. If you want to consign with me, the rates and everything are here. I know they're super blown up. If you want to sell to me, boom, right here. Every Monday I update the buy list. The hot buy list is right here. The hot buy list I post on my Instagram. It's right here. Send to my PO box. Send to Spat. Send to PK. Send to Ponga. I will pay you after they land. Zelle, friends and family, ACH, wire, or if you want me to pay you up front, invoice me. PayPal goods and services. Add signature to your shipment, and it will be fully insured inbound to any of those locations. Unfortunately, this buy list is not cross-posted to my wife's whiteboard. But if you scroll down, some people don't know this. If you scroll down, some people think the only thing I'm buying is my hot buy list. No, I'm buying everything. I'm buying everything all the time. I'm actually buying. So every set I have a published price. I pull in the set name, the TCG player market price, and then I also show you my offer is X amount, and it's the rate times the price is my offer. But I am offering always 24/7, 365. I'm buying every set from XY base to current, and the prices are publicly just there. I'm buying XY base is $55 a pack, TCG player. I'm paying 80% on XY base. I'm paying $44 a pack for XY base. I'm paying $102.95 a pack for Flashfire. So all that is there if you're ever interested in that. Feel free to check out. It's pinned in my link tree. It's pinned on my all over the place. Find my website. Another new tab. So here's a new tab. That tab was new in like January or February. Wholesale packs. Minimum $5,000 purchase. If you buy between 5 and 15K, you get 90% of market. If you buy 15 grand plus, you're getting 85% of market. And I'm going to update every week. I'm going to update my packs. Right now, I have a lot of packs available. Stellar Crown, 720 of them. Shroud of Fable, 720. Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved. If you're interested in buying any of these packs, reach out to me. Dan, why are you selling your packs? You talk about the live streams. I have a decade's worth of some of these packs. Scarlet Violet base, I had 10,000 packs. We sell at a rate that leads to me taking a decade to sell these 10,000 packs. And I'm buying more every day. So I'm simultaneously, I'm buying Scarlet Violet base at 65 or 70%, and I'm selling it at 85%. So that is what my business is. My business is buying at a lower percentage, selling at a higher percentage. So that's a new tab on my website. If you want to sell to me, or if you want to buy from me, it's not always going to be stocked with every set. These are the sets I have right now. I am only going to sell the sets that, oh no, we went back to the Fisherman intro. I'm only going to sell the sets on there that I don't have. Let me just unshare that just in case I go back. It's dangerous to share a tab and then go back to the one screen, because sometimes over here, I'm going to like browse my emails. I'm going to browse something. Like if I'm looking through my emails to find some old thing that someone asked a question on, and then I go back to the two screen, well now I'm doxing my emails, whatever. So I'm not going to do that. But anyways, yeah, if people want to buy from me wholesale packs, they're there. Well, Dan, why would people buy from you when, like, that's how business works. Like, I buy at a lower price, offer instant liquidity. If you can sell it for more elsewhere, like, please sell it for more elsewhere. Yeah, a lot of people are happy to sell to me. Some people only sell to me through the hot buy list when it's above 80%. Some people sell to me every week, regularly. It's very no nonsense. It's very like, you just send to me and you get the money. You get the money later. Appreciate you, son of Mewtwo. Son of Mewtwo sent 20 Catch 'em All Collectibles gift memberships. I don't think you'll hear the sound, but you will see the lawnmower drive 20 times. So appreciate that. Let me scroll back up though. We got a PK fan, Jonathan Flint, in here. We got, yeah, everyone in chat. Please thank Son of Mewtwo for the 20 gifted. Appreciate that very much. Have you heard of Otherverse TCG? Kickstarter TCG has released one set that had limited print run on the booster boxes, and they have been releasing limited monthly collector promos. I've heard of it. I'm not really interested. Pokemon and then Metazoo are the only two things I really go for. Like Dan, I also wish I had Quaxly's hair. Again, good luck, Turd Burglar. Very, very exciting time. Best well wishes to the wife, to the future child. Hope that all goes well. Very, very exciting, nerve-wracking time. I went through it twice and I'm done. Already checked out those resources in the You Are Hurting Yourself video. Not Your Dad CPA was a very good resource to learn from. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for being here. The streams would not be what they are without you guys engaging the way you do with the questions and all that. So appreciate it. Welcome, Pokey Lawyer PNW. It was very nice meeting you at Seattle Card Party, and I hope I get to see you more in the future. Nice, quick little chat as always. With these events, like you meet so many people, you would love to talk to so many people for so much longer than you get to, but there's a finite amount of time in that weekend. There are seemingly an infinite amount of people to talk to. Let me scroll back up. Godfather Pokemon is just tuning in. Hello to you as well. Pokepastor TCG says, blessings, bro. Hope you and the family are doing well. Likewise to you. Thank you very much. Let's Rocket says, vending my first show next month. I'm very excited. I'm selling a lot of my PC singles and slabs with a bit of sealed. Good luck with that. Hope that goes well for you. It's a hot market right now. Good time to sell. Good time to sell. Good time to buy. Good time to do it all. I don't currently do consignments through eBay at all, sealed or slabs or anything. Just do the Fanatics consignments as of right now. Right there with you. I'm not buying any of these new sets at these prices. If I miss it, I miss it. I still remember when you could get the last year of Sword Shield 100 bucks for almost half a year. Yeah, I mean, 12, 14, 16 months ago, all of SV1 through SV5 were widely available under $100 a box. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to happen with Destined and with Journey and with Destined, Journey and Surging and things like that, but it definitely could. It definitely could. Mega Evolution could go under MSRP. Mega Evolution could go under $100 a box. It might not. It might. I don't know. I have 4 cases that went to the pallet. I have 4 cases of Destined on the pallet. If I'm wrong and if it only goes up from here, like I'll just have the 4 I have and that's fine. I think everything else I have will do fine in the meantime. I think the XY Sun Moon, I think the Sword Shield, I think the earlier Scarlet Violet that I have will do fine. Does anyone remember when Champion's Path was scalped into oblivion? What a time. Yes, I do. When Champion's Path was a new set was around when my daughter was born. So where Turd Burglar is today, getting ready to go into the labor room, I guess. I was there with Champion's Path release right around then. Love your channel, mate. What's your thought on One Piece? It seems they have risen a bit. I get it through my distro. I just sell it. I don't have any connection to the IP. I don't want to watch an anime with a 1,000 episode backlog anytime soon. So I like that people like it. It sounds like it's kind of cool. It sounds like a lot of people enjoy it, but it's just not for me. I don't engage. Riley hopes the market tanks till the scalpers leave. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I think things will go sub MSRP. I think things will become less scalpable, and I genuinely want that to happen. There are pros and cons to each side. Like right now, making a lot of money on my allocations, making a lot of money like high stupid number prices, liquidity, all that stuff. But I'm quite confident that I can succeed if and when the market returns to where it was 16 months ago, where it was a couple years ago. Like I'm quite confident we can succeed. Me and all my independent contractors can succeed. What's your favorite not popular type of card to collect? I don't know if you're asking the not popular type of Pokemon card to collect, but if you mean card in general, I'm gonna go for it. Metazoo. My Torrential Tide set is not yet complete, but here's my Torrential Tide set underway. So I would broadly deem Metazoo not that popular. So that's my favorite not popular type of card to collect. Hopefully it becomes more popular, but we'll see. We are indeed live Spat. So Spat is no longer live on eBay, I presume, because he's here. How many booster box cases are on a pallet from Pokemon? Generally 100, I believe. I know Metazoo, going back to Metazoo, I'm buying a pallet of Metazoo for, and it's a different configuration, different case, all that stuff, but 100 cases, no, 50 cases, 600 boxes are on a Metazoo pallet. I believe Pokemon is a 100 box pallet as well, and it could vary some too. Certain distros might deal with pallets, certain printers, I don't know. 600-ish boxes, 100-ish cases. Will X sealed item go up Y amount? Yes. X sealed item will go up Y amount, and Z sealed product will go down A amount. So watch out for Z. Z to A. Hey, that works out there. So Z will go down 8%, and X will go up Y%. So buy X, sell Z. I think I kept my letters straight there. I don't know why so many people are fire selling their collections. The only two things that matter when investing is what price you buy it and what price you sell it. Everything in between means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. It definitely doesn't mean nothing, because like again, I use the word invest in Pokemon because it is the vernacular of the space, but like depending on, again, your rules, how you're living, like it matters a lot to some people. It matters a lot if you're living off the dividends of your S&P 500 portfolio. It matters a lot if you have 100K invested in Pokemon, and then you go through some major life event that like requires a lot of liquidity and cash, and if you're borrowing money that you wouldn't have had to borrow if that was just in something liquid. So in between matters. Opportunity costs, all that stuff, all the risk, all the opportunity cost. Candy's better EV, the kids are smart. Trevor says, wouldn't you say this period of retracing is normal since we've been on such a crazy bull run for a while? It's normal at any time. If we're in the middle of a bear market, it's normal for things to go down 10 to 20%. If we're in the middle of a bull market, it's normal for things to go down 10 to 20%. If we're in the middle of a stagnant market, it's normal for things to go down 10 to 20%. This is collectibles. The intrinsic value is 0. The variance is high. It is highly speculative. It is highly risky. The prices will just inherently fluctuate a lot because these are non-fungible collectibles that we're dealing with. There's no balance sheets. There's no underlying profits. There's no actual intrinsic value. So like everything is normal in these things. Send my business card next time. Yeah, if you are if you're in Mrs. Ketchum All Collectibles class, free is a stretch because you have to earn the points. I don't know the exact mechanisms to earn the points, but you need to build up. I think you need to build up like a couple weeks worth of points, few weeks worth of points to get a booster pack or a piece of candy. And a lot of people go a piece of candy. It sounds like. What collectible insurance do you use that protects your inbound and outbound packages with signature confirmation? Just had UPS lose a package that I did not insure. I'm looking into insurance options. Collect Insure is who I use. It's called CIS, Collectors Insurance Services. It's also called Collect Insure. I have a video. Go to my channel and search insurance, and I make a video talking all about insurance. And shout out to, not that he needs a shout out from me. He's a much bigger channel, much more viral. But Oyama's Trading, he just did a recent video, much more quick and to the point than mine. Mine is a very antiviral, Dan, disclaimer, all that video. His is a lot punchier and just gets to the point. But he talks about insurance in one of his recent videos. I do remember. I will admit that I didn't remember your name. These Dark Canvas TCG. But I went to Diggerland after after a few days after Collecticon New Jersey, I went to what's it called? I went to not the Jersey Shore. I went to oh, what's it called? Where was it that I just went in New Jersey? I need to go to Google Maps and find it now. Not Ocean City. Spat, are you still here? Where did I go? I didn't go to Atlantic City, not Ocean City. Where did I go? Wildwood. I went to Wildwood, I believe. Is that where I went? Yes. Wildwood with Maurice Pier. So I went to Wildwood, New Jersey after Collecticon, and then on the way home from Wildwood, I went to Diggerland, and I ran into Dark Canvas TCG. So yeah, that was just a funny way to meet. Nice meeting you. Dark Canvas TCG. Son of a Mewtwo and Son of Mewtwo are two different things. Yes, as I was reading Son of Mewtwo's 20 Gifted, and then I also saw Son of a Merc is a different name, and then Son of a Mewtwo is a different person as well. So many names in this space are very, very similar. It gets difficult at times. Mewtwo is always listening, always watching, Daniel. Thank you for everything you do. Likewise, thank you for the 20 gifted. Thank you for being here. Do you think you'll ever stock your wholesale with 151 or Crown Zenith? I know you were selling Crown Zenith packs a while back. So I did sell 720 151. I had just a tiny bit more 151 than I wanted. I wanted one thing I'm doing too. I have a video going live Monday. It's already been recorded, but my next video on Monday is talking about the wholesale. It's not a wholesale program. There's no subscription. I just sell items when I have too much. If and when someone buys me out, it might take me months to restock. But I talk about my wholesale thing Monday, and I'm not pivoting my entire business into it. But given that I have 100,000 packs, if and when, this is something that I talk about a bunch, and maybe I should talk about it more than I do. Whatever you have, if what you have is slabs, if what you have is singles, if what you have is sealed, that you're speculating, investing, whatever you're doing in it, you should know an exit strategy. Life can throw any kind of curveball at you that it wants. I'm not even going to speculate as to what it could be. But, like, there could be a world where I get, like, again, I don't want to go into specifics, but, like, there could be a world where, for whatever reason, I need to close up shop. I don't ever hope or intend for this to be the case, but, like, I could get some very bad news of something that, like, I just need to liquidate everything. I've never sold wholesale booster packs. I've sold a lot of slabs at once. I've sold a lot of singles at once. I've never really sold 100K in sealed at one time. I've bought it at one time. So part of it is, like, let me see how easy this is to sell. Let me just try it out. Part of it, I do need to lose 40,000 packs overall to just reallocate some funds inventory wise and have more liquidity, cash, all that stuff. But so part of it was like an experiment. Part of it was like, let me throw up an Instagram story and see how quick this stuff moves. I was pleasantly surprised. But that's in this market. 6 months from now, will that be the case? 6 months ago, a year ago, 18 months ago, would I have been able to do that as easily? I know I wouldn't have been able to do it as easily 18 months ago. And 80% would have been painful. When the boxes were 90, 80% would have been really painful. Loose packs, especially. Dan, favorite fish Pokemon? Favorite fish Pokemon? I'm gonna look up a list of all the fish Pokemon. Probably Magikarp. Magikarp, just Gen 1. There are a lot of other Gen 1 fish Pokemon. But Magikarp, he has such potential. I know he doesn't turn into a fish when he's done. But yeah, I like Magikarp for his potential. And he's funny in the anime. I remember taking him in the game. Before XP share, before every game just became easy, you battle with your guy at the front and everyone in the back gets experience. That's kind of dumb to me. Old man yells at clouds. Back in my day, I had to put my level 5 Magikarp with Splash out front in the Elite Four and then pull him back before he gets destroyed. And then I had to battle with someone else and kill the guy so that Magikarp could get his XP back in my day. So I have good memories with Magikarp. Here to vouch for a Fanatics consignment with Dan. Smooth, easy process. Thank you very much, Driver Pedals. Where do you see Phantasmal peaking around release? Curious about long-term potential with a Zard in that set. Incredible card. I have no clue. I don't even know what it's at right now. I don't check this stuff. I'm gonna look at it right now though, quick. So Phantasmal Flames right now on eBay is $310 a box. That's so high. It could be 400. It could be 250. I have no clue. I think if I had to guess though, short term, especially because it's gonna be 2 waves. So I'm getting X amount. I'm gonna send a bunch to PK. I'm gonna send a bunch to Ponga because I need it for the streams. I'm not setting my 4 cases back for the pallet until wave 2. Same thing I did with Mega Evolutions. I think wave 1 is gonna be here. Here might be 300. I think between wave 1 and up to 2 weeks before wave 2, I think it's gonna creep up. So a few weeks before wave 2 hits, I'm gonna try to sell every single case I have because I'm gonna get wave 2. I'm gonna get wave 2 for my distro for $100 a box or whatever I pay roughly. Wave 2 is when I'll set my 4 cases back to the pallet because I don't know what it'll do. But like between now and November of 2026, I am not going to add more than 4 cases of Phantasmal to my pallets unless it goes sub 200, unless it goes sub MSRP. I would rather have 4 cases of Phantasmal on my pallet when it's $500 a year or 2 later than to put 20 cases of it on my pallet. And then what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to go sub 200. I think it's going to go sub MSRP. And then I'm going to be like, damn, Dan, that was silly. You silly goose. Why did you put 20 cases of this set on your pallet at 300 when you were pretty sure it was going to go to 150, 200? And then it happened, and now you're going to double down to 40 cases when if you had waited, you could have had 60 or 80 cases. So yeah, that's my strategy. Not advice. I'm telling people what I'm doing and why. $100 per booster box isn't coming back. Okay, I disagree. But like, I've only been here for 11 years. I'm only going to sell $10 million of product next year through live streams and consignments. But you're a very cool guy, 123. So I'm going to take what you say with very high stakes. Dan, current plan for sealed product if Snipe isn't all it's cracked up to be. Probably won't be the case. But one thing that is on my mind, one thing, it's probably not going to ever turn into consignment, but I was pleasantly surprised with how the whole wholesale pack thing went. And it's very early, but like if and when Snipe is terrible, I might be able to make decent business buying at 85%, selling at 95%. Maybe I expand this operation. Maybe I get an independent contractor to run the catch-em-all, not sealed consignments. It wouldn't be auctions. It wouldn't be on eBay. It wouldn't be. It would just be privately, ACHs, wires, all that stuff. Good, known, trusted product. I'd be buying from reputable sources, selling like. That's a potential. Probably not, but like that could happen. Or stay tuned. As I said earlier, maybe someday, this comes back for sealed. I'm holding out hope. We'll see. HDZ Kid said, Sword and Shield is the best investment right now. What would it take for Dan to watch One Piece episode 1 to current? Let's see how many hours of One Piece there are. How many hours of One Piece are there? 400 hours. So I can do it in the background in 10 weeks of work. For me to forego all the finance, all the RuneScape content, all the content that I enjoy right now, for me to sub in 400 hours of One Piece, over the next 10 weeks, if someone paid me like, it would be tens of thousands of dollars. I would do it. For me to blindly commit to it, for me to sample 5 or 10 episodes and then decide like, oh, this sucks, I would need 100 grand to do it because it's miserable. Or oh, like I actually enjoy it, I'd do it for 10 grand. But it's not gonna be like, hey, $50, watch all of One Piece. I think you should run a trial run of sending PK some One Piece. There's enough fandom in the chat to hold his hand through it. I've thought about it. I've done a little bit of Metazoo. I've sent a little bit to PK and Ponga. I've sent some to Sky, and Sky has done some streams with Metazoo. Enough. Enough is a word that exists. I don't know that I care to put too much mental energy into One Piece. It could probably make money. It could probably work out, but like I'm just not that interested in doing it. I don't intend to do it anytime soon. But never say never. Let's see. One Piece is being completely remade and condensed, still 300 plus episodes. Should be good when released on Netflix. Even that I probably won't engage with. I tried a couple animes. I watched a little bit of Dragon Ball Z. I watched a little bit of Naruto. I couldn't get into them. I don't think anime is for me. The market is just doing a healthy staircase flow, nothing to worry about. The market varies. Oh, this was towards somebody else. I wish we can short Pokemon. I would have shorted Destiny Rivals booster box and Mega Evolution booster boxes as well. If we could short Pokemon, there's a lot of people that would be bankrupt. Oh, my memory is so terrible. I think I still have that here. This was I felt really bad. One, because like this was just way too generous. I still have the slab here. It is not mine. It is never going to be for sale. I'm gonna, one thing I started doing recently, I'm gonna write on the back of the sleeve, Dark Canvas TCG. I'm so terrible and I apologize. I thank you very much for the way too generous gift. But Dark Canvas TCG, Cleveland, CAC 25. I forget if I looked it up. I might have mentioned it in my video, but my memory is terrible. But yeah, now it's commemorated there. I've been doing this more and more because like I have a pile of PC things that I don't remember who I got them from, why and where and when. And but yeah, way too generous of a gift. I don't even want to look up. I don't even want to look up what this slab is doing right now in this boom where Watsy's booming. A PSA 10 Eevee from Aquapolis that he gave my daughter, and then a Surfing Pikachu PSA 9 promo that he gave my son. Crazy. Yeah, appreciate that very much so. But my desk is an absolute mess right now. I really need to work on that. I should not be able to. This should not have been on my desk for the past several months and still be within an arm's reach because everything is here. Let me scroll back up. I have a chance to trade Fusion booster boxes and Prismatic ETB cases for an Evo Skies booster box case with both sides trading at market, holding the Fusion Prismatic or move into an Evo Skies case. I have all three. I have all three in my portfolio, I guess. I have, again, this is what I like to do. I like to just tell you exactly what I have and why. I'm not a big fan of trades. It's like, I'd rather just, the way that my mind thinks, why trade at 100%? Even trade when I can sell at 100, 105% and I can buy at 90% or 80%. So I fundamentally don't like trades at even value because I like winning better, right? Dan, that's a cheating answer. Well, maybe you should be treating your collection as inventory because it's more strategic. It's more advantageous if it's all intended for resale anyways. This is the way my brain works. But I'll just tell you how many I have. I'll tell you how many I have of each, and I'll tell you what I kind of like more. So I have, we're talking fusion cases. On the pallets, I have only 2 cases of fusion. I do have a few loose boxes of fusion that I just bought in a big collection recently. I think I have 5 prismatic ETB cases in the garage right now, and I have 2 Evo Skies booster box cases on the pallet. So I have way more money financially in the Evolving Skies booster box cases. I honestly, I would rather get not the prismatic ETBs. I would rather get more Fusion Strike boxes proportionally, because I'm already disproportionately so much more exposed to Evolving Skies, if that makes sense. So I have 2 of each, 2 Evolving, 2 Fusion, but the Evolving is worth a lot more. So I like Fusion Strike more, just to like balance out more, because I don't know what's going to go up more in the future. But I don't like the Prismatic at all. So if I had to pick, I would personally pick the Evo Skies booster box case, just because that's how much I dislike the Prismatic right now, with how early it is, with how expensive it is. But yeah, that's just, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm walking you through my thought process and why. Teaching the fish versus giving fish, I think, if that makes sense. Appreciate you being here, Poke Rescue. If you have YouTube Premium, I hear that I can even be down at like 2.5x, so try that. My exit strategy is to dump everything on Dan. if too many people front run you on that, and like I have had singular weeks where I've had $500,000 of collections in my inbox. I will say this openly, honestly, my business bank account nor my personal bank account, I've never had, aside from retirement accounts, I've never had an account read with a balance of $500,000 or higher. So like I'm quite a small operation relative to like some of the things that I've seen offered to me. Liquidity is really solid. It's the best it's ever been. My bank account this week is the highest it's ever been, even when I've bought a bunch. But very quickly, there are tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of collector apps and things out there. And if and when things start to turn and some small percentage of that gets offered to me, I run out of liquidity very, very quickly. And I'm not going to buy, I'm not talking to you, Sugar, or anyone in particular, but like right now, I'm paying 70, 80, 90% on certain things. If and when I start getting offered $1 million worth of stuff a week, I'm not going to buy $1 million a week. I'm going to offer 70% and take the 100,000 that comes. And if and when I start getting offered $5 million a week, I'm going to offer 65% and take the $100,000 that comes. I'm going to offer 50%. If I could spend $100,000 a week at 50% market, I would do it. I promise you I would do it. Everyone would do it. No one can right now. Everyone's buying liquidity, blah, blah, blah. But things can turn. Things can turn. I think a lot of people get very, very like spoiled by the current market, the current liquidity. It will not always be the case. So just be careful. How cooked am I? Credit card payments coming due. Glad you enjoyed the clip on Insta. Which credit card payment is this? I do finance. I can't say I'm completely consumer debt free, but I'm a little cooked myself because I'm in consumer debt over a cell phone. Context 2 weeks ago in my live stream. Where are we at? Question, more are talking about resurgence of vintage prices. Do you think vintage pre-2005 will continue to stay relevant with so many new sets coming out every year? I think your question is the exact reason why vintage will stay more relevant than modern. Ultra modern, in my opinion, as long as Pokemon is healthy, ultra modern will always be ultra relevant as long as Pokemon is generally. Ultra modern will always be where the bulk of the hobby and the liquidity and the market activity is at. Most of the money will be ultra modern if Pokemon is healthy. But ultra modern is always changing. There's always new. Next set, best set, all that stuff. So like base set first edition is always base set first edition. Base set first edition will always stand out to some, not to everybody. Before you say, nobody cares about that, some people do. Some people always will. I can promise that. If Pokemon was relevant in 1,000 years, I promise you, PSA 10, hold on, I'm going to do it. If Pokemon is relevant in 100 years, I guarantee base set first edition is relevant. I guarantee people care about the PSA 10 base versus Charizard. If Pokemon exists in 100 years, so we've been around for 30. In 30 years, there's 1,000 Pokemon. In 100 more years, there should be 4,000 total Pokemon. We've had over 100 sets in 30 years. In 100 years, we should have over 400 sets, right? So, will your 151 Charizard be relevant? Will your Moonbreon be relevant? Well, did you forget about the 2075? What would that be? Did you forget about the 100th anniversary? Let's go safer. So in the next 100 years, the 100th anniversary will happen. Did you forget about the 1-of-1 cracked ice refractor hologram projector Moonbreon reprint that came out on the 100th anniversary? Did you forget about that? Moonbreon, you're talking about the pop 50,000 garbage from Evolving Skies in 2021 that nobody cares about? Like, no, we're on to the super duper double refractor hologram cracked ice sapphire deluxe platinum version. In 100 years though, I guarantee if Pokemon is relevant, the PSA 10 base versus Charizard will be relevant. I can't guarantee it's going to be the most expensive card in the hobby. It's not today. I can't guarantee that. But I'm going to go so far as to say this. I guarantee in 100 years, it's safe to go 100 years. I guarantee in 100 years, the PSA 10 base versus Charizard will be S tier. Moonbreon could be. Gray Felt Hat could be. But I am significantly less confident than they will be. I guarantee PSA 10 base versus Charizard will be S tier. Gold Stars, PSA 10s, probably. Less guaranteed, in my opinion, than the base first. But I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to speculate. Some people's entire channels are speculation. I only do it a little bit here and there. I dabble. But it is fun to think about. Because 400 sets, 4,000 Pokemon, like, it's, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty in all that. There's a lot, yeah, remind me 100 years. No, see, there were ifs in there. Disclaimer, Dan is still present. If Pokemon is a thing, if Pokemon is relevant in 100 years, Charizard PSA 10 base first will be S tier. Again, I'm not going to guarantee it's more valuable than the Moonbreon. I highly speculate it will be. But anyways, I think people understand. The people that understand what I'm saying understand what I'm saying. The people that don't understand what I'm saying, there is no hope for you. I apologize. I cannot reach these kids if you not understand what I'm saying. Yeah, I said Magikarp. I didn't say Gyarados. No, because it's local pickup in North Carolina. I'm not going to drive to North Carolina to pick up a pallet. Dan, I haven't ran the numbers, but what is the math behind wanting to buy a booster box at $500 in 2 years, but avoid them at $200 in the present? Hypothetical, purely abstractly speaking. So the reason that I wouldn't buy a box for $200 today, but I might buy it for $500 in 2 years from now, is because I don't believe in $200 today. If 2 years pass and then it's $500, now I more believe in the price. I was wrong. I admit defeat. Everything I used the money, everything I bought instead of buying $200 in this hypothetical. I think everything I'm buying today when Destined Rivals is $300 or whatever it is, I think I will beat Destined Rivals. So in this scenario, that booster box 2.5x. I think what I'm buying will 3x, 4x, 5x. Do I think what I'm buying will actually 3, 4, 5x? No. Do I think that box will 2.5x? No. I think that $200 box, theoretically, hypothetically, I think I'll be able to buy it for 150, for 140, 130. And if I'm wrong, again, the money that I'm buying as an investor for things to go up, I think will outperform. I'm guessing though. As always, I'm guessing. I'm navigating this all to the fullest extent that I can. I'm making my guesses and I'm letting the chips fall on what I think will happen. Dan wants an independent contractor to go and fight Chase on the weekly. If I could put an independent contractor to interface between me and the bank, that would be amazing. Absolutely. I don't really have interest in hiring again, this is like fishermen. This is more versus enough. Could I have a sports channel? Could I have a One Piece channel? Could I have, theoretically, there's no reason that I couldn't, right? There's no reason that I couldn't, aside from like enough exists. And I don't have the aspirations. I don't have the, to seek all that. It's too much. What do you think of the market, Dan? Only just joined. We are booming. One word, booming is what I think of the market. What would you be doing right now if you didn't sell Pokemon cards? Probably being a chemical engineer still. But that's what I was a little over 4 years ago. So that's probably most likely. No desk tour at all. A lot of doxing, a lot of like scribbled notepads of things that I can't share. A lot of, I actually opened a PSA magazine earlier. One of my V-Friends super stickers is on my desk that I opened earlier. I opened one of these from my PSA magazine. I just have a stack of PSA magazines that I've never opened. What is that Oreo box you have in the top right of your background? Do I have Oreos up there? I don't see it. Do I have, where are my Oreos? I don't think I have Oreos up there. I have one over here off screen, but you can't see it. Oh wait, no, I do, right there. Right behind the, right behind the Pez's, I didn't even see it. The one that I thought was up there is now over there. So that is just sealed Oreos, sealed Pokemon Oreos from like 2 years ago. And no, we're not doing a box opening. 2 questions, Mega or Destined in 10 years, which has a higher value in your opinion? Also, what is being ripped more on your live stream currently if you're tracking Destined, Priz, or Mega? So that is a question I can answer. That is the kind of iRobot. My responses are limited. You must ask the right questions. This is the right question. So per the last time that I pulled the data, in the last month, let's look up month. So in the last month, let's look at all of October. All of October, we've sold 1,485 Mega Evolution. We've sold 1,742 Destined Rivals, and we've sold 1,606 Prismatic. They are our top 3. They're all quite tight, but Destined is winning, then Prismatic, then Mega. So that is a good question. I grant you the answer to your question. Mega or Destined in 10 years? I have no clue. I have 4 cases of each. If and when they become available for cheaper, I'll buy more. Which one will I buy more of? I want 20 cases of both on the pallets. Will I ever get them? Probably not. But I don't know. I'm not good at these questions. I think they have equal value, equal chance of getting to a certain number, and that's why I have the same amount of both of them. Dan with the consumer debt, he's now normally like us. Yes. We are grabbing money from our fence. You can stand on a fence and grab money at the same time. And I did use the G word, but a lot of people, like, when I bring up something like on a long enough timeline, like base will always be base, but Evolve is Skies and 151 and all these sets will, like, Hidden Fates, all these sets will just kind of like merge into the void of like 100 years in the middle. Well, Dan, I'm not gonna live 100 years. You're not gonna live 100 years. Who cares? We're just talking. We're just theorizing over the long run. So if in 100 years Charizard will remain S tier, but all the things in the middle are less certain. What matters then? I think, like, if you care about these things for the long term, those are the kinds of things you need to think about. I think those things do matter. I think they'll matter in 100 years, and I think something will change in the next 100 years. Is it going to take 99 years to change? Probably less. Is it going to take 50 years to change? Probably less. Is it going to take 10 years to change? Maybe more. Maybe more than 20. Maybe more than 30. I don't know. I don't speculate, invest in slabs, though, really. I do some momentum swing trade plays. I speculate that in the next 40 years, I will own dozens of PSA 10 base first hollows. I will buy them at times for 17 grand when I think I can sell them for more later. I thought I was going to make 3 or 4 grand on that card. I thought I was going to make 3 or 4 grand a few months later, and I made $30,000. I'll probably buy one at some point. I'll buy one speculating, thinking I'm going to make money, and I'll lose 5 or 10 grand. But overall, as long as it all averages out to a good hourly, winning more than I'm losing, yada yada yada, it's good business. I saw PSA 10 Moonbryon, PSA 10 Sunbryon. They're going nuts right now. It's crazy. We're gonna be riding Charizard in the metaverse. No way I'm touching Destined Rivals at 300 here. Neither am I. Aside from, I need it for the streams. I need it for I need it for keeping the streams going. But other than that, I'm not trying to get too much excess. Dan just said guarantee and then followed it up by very casually calling himself an investor without a disclaimer. This is the top. I use the I word a lot without the disclaimer because I made a whole video on that. I am actually not investing in anything. My pallets are not investments. They are speculations. Oh, Dan, it's just semantics. Semantics matter. In my opinion, you cannot invest really in a lot of this Pokemon. And a lot of people that say they are not. They are speculating. Many are gambling actually too. But semantics, blah, 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 who cares? I'll go back to using the I word. What sealed product are you currently most bullish on? It was 151 most recently, and I was saying that very loudly, proudly, publicly. 151 I was very bullish on. Crown Zenith, much earlier in the year, I was very bullish on. And then they went up a lot, and I became less bullish because they're a lot more expensive now. Like, if I had to look at everything that I'm buying, what am I most excited for people to sell to me? There's not like a massive amount. Most things I'm excited for people to sell to me are things that I know I can sell very quickly for a margin. What am I excited to add to the pallets at today's prices? What am I excited to add to my inventory at today's prices? Not much. Things are pretty damn expensive. If I have to spend $300 a box, would I rather get Destined or a Sword Shield set? Absolutely, the Sword Shield set. But like, I'm a net seller right now. I'm trying to trim down my inventory. I'm trying to increase my cash pile because there's not much I'm super bullish on. That's just where I'm at right now. A lot of things certainly from today will go up, but Caught Alive on minute 5, successful night in the woods, cold beer, life is good. Looking forward to this one. Nice seeing you here, Steve. It was very nice meeting you. Shout out to Tactical Trading _ on Instagram. He is one of my suppliers for Chinese product. He's a very good, reliable source. I have sent him on multiple occasions. I've sent him 5 figures up front. This is not me. I will not financially guarantee, blah, 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 all that. But I've sent him 5 figures up front, ACH, wire, Zelle, whatever. I've sent him money up front. He's delivered the product very professionally. Good businessman. So take that shout out in whatever way you will. If you want to go buy some Chinese product, check out Tactical Trading on Instagram. He's got some good stuff. We've done it on the streams a little bit. Initially, when we did it on the streams, it went really well, and then it slowed down a lot though. So I haven't bought from Steve too much lately, but hopefully I buy from him more in the future. Appreciate you, Dark Ibex. We're really booming. It's been a while since I've gotten a lot of gifted subs, and we're getting a lot of gifted subs tonight. So we are booming real heavy. Could you help me determine if these cards are first edition on this channel? So do I have a first edition card near me? So the way that Pokemon cards work, if they are first edition, they would have a first edition stamp over here to the left side of the character box. So here's like the promo set symbol. The first edition stamp would be right there. So that's how you determine if a card is first edition. Whether or not it's real, go check out E4, go check out some YouTube videos. There's a lot of guides out there to determine if your cards are fake or real. Booming, yes, but in terms of the market being here in the next 3 to 5 years, how do you see Destined Rivals booster boxes in 3 to 5 years? I think in 3 to 5 years, I think there's like greater than a 50% chance they're higher. Some people would guarantee they're higher in 3 to 5 years. I'm not going to guarantee it. They're higher right now. If you could go back a year in time and you could say, Dan, there's going to be a set next year that comes out that's called Destined Rivals. My mindset is like, hey, Twilight Masquerade a year ago was like 150, 160. It was starting to boom a little bit. Surging Sparks pre-orders were sub 150, sub MSRP. But if you had told me, Dan, there's going to be a set that comes out next May that in 3 to 5 years is going to be worth $300, I would have been thrilled. I would have like locked that in, final answer, guarantee that for me. I would have been thrilled. The amount of people today that would be like destroyed. Oh my, Destined Rivals is going to be flat in the next 3 to 5 years? Alex talks about this a lot. People's expectations are obscene. Like there are people in this chat right now, maybe yourself included, I don't know, that like if Destined Rivals in 5 years is not $1,000, they're like in a very bad mental space. That's scary. But like people are just expecting, can't go under MSRP, can't go under double MSRP, can't go under $200, can't go under $300, only goes up. Some of these things are going to age poorly eventually. I don't know when, but like I promise, Destined Rivals, there's a percentage chance that Destined Rivals is $140 in 5 years. I don't think it's high. It's at least 1% though, in my opinion. Broader market downturn, 2008 in the last 3 years, and not 2008, 1999. There's conversations going on that like we're in an AI bubble, like the likes of the .com bubble, and we could be. 1999 could happen over again in the S&P 500 in the broader markets. Crypto could go down 50%. In 5 years from now, the S&P could be 20-30% lower than it is today. Do I think that will happen? I have no clue. But like people that start guaranteeing this, that, and the other thing, and it can't go down, and you're delusional if you think Pokemon can't go up. Pokemon Sealed only goes up. It's scary. But we'll see what happens. It could be 140 in 1 year, and it could be 140 in 5 years. I promise that could happen. Will it happen? I don't know. I think in 5 years, I would say with 50% certainty, it will be higher in 5 years. That's why I have 4Ks on the pallet. It could be double. With 10% certainty, it could be double. With 10% certainty, it could be sub $200. Who are all these people? Do we have wrenches in the chat or no? I think we have a bot farm in here. Is this... This has to be a bot farm in here with this whole Roscoe thing. I don't know what that is, but they're not saying anything naughty yet, so we'll let the bots be for now. But I'm gonna keep an eye on them. The bot is watching you, bots. Be careful. How much to rip the Oreo box right now? I don't want to. I'm a sealed diamond hand investor. Whatever you think the attrition is of sealed English modern product, I bet you the sealed food product attrition is higher. So I am diamond handing that bad boy for the long term. Aged Oreos, yum. Yes. I quit my 6-figure job to flip Pokemon. I'm starting tomorrow. Am I going to get rich? You might and you might not. I hope the best for you if that's true. Theoretically, if Pokemon imploded, would you go back to being a chemical engineer or find a different TCG or do something else? If Pokemon imploded, I'm confident enough today. Pokemon is so big that if Pokemon imploded, I would take a massive pay cut and I would continue to be full-time in Pokemon. I am very confident in my ability to be full-time in Pokemon, even if it's 5% of what it is today. I was here 11 years ago when it was tiny. I was not full-time, but I know what I was doing 11 years ago on the side without all this additional experience and knowledge and stuff. I'm confident if Pokemon goes back to what it was 11 years ago, market size, it would be super dark. But I'm confident that I could make a full-time living in it. I need to Google this. Is this a bot about an actual Pokemon thing? Kazo. This is like a oh god. It's a sneaker channel. Is this a sneaker channel that has like bots? This must be so this is a YouTube channel that has 200,000 subscribers that must have bots set up to come and pump his channel in other live chats. This is actually wild. I've never seen this before, but maybe they're not bots. He had a live stream that ended an hour ago. Really, really weird. Please stop pumping anything Roscoe, because it's just weird. I'm gonna start hiding the comments because I can't tell if they're bots or not. But anyways, okay. This has got to be bot behavior. I'm gonna hide some of these people. I'm gonna hide. I'm not fully banning, but I'm hiding some of these people because it's distracting me too much. I'm gonna put you in a 30-minute timeout too. 30-minute timeouts are getting handed because I won't be live anymore in 30 minutes. Continuing on though, oh yeah, or I would do barbecue world domination and financial advice world domination. Really, really weird. But anyways, if Pokemon imploded means go to 0 and like you're not allowed to do Pokemon anymore, which maybe it did. I would honestly seriously look into like a food truck. I would look into like catering, barbecue. I would look into some finance type channel. I don't know. Yeah, that whole thing was just weird. Really, really weird. It looks like years ago they had a lot of views on videos, but these days they do not. They pump in 100 live viewer Pokemon channels apparently. But I'm gonna try to wrap up. It's after midnight here. I'm almost caught up with chat. I'm gonna try to catch up. Very hard to be bullish on anything at the prices they are now. I bought some Mega Rayquaza singles a year ago for 20 that are 350 now. We're definitely in a bubble. It doesn't necessarily need to be a bubble. It might be, very well might be. But it could be a boom that kind of ebbs and flows, and like it doesn't have to pop and go down 90%. Certain things might, but it doesn't have to either. It could just be growing a lot. Some people will probably get wrecked. Now I'm going through all the spam. It's the blind confidence that's truly scary. Yeah, like I'm stuttering. I'm so thrown off. I will never stop pointing back to that comment like a month or two ago where someone called me delusional for saying that destined boxes could maybe go under 300 a box. Like what is destined rivals right now? For me to say that destined rivals at some point might go under 300 a box. Dan, you're delusional. That's impossible. That is scary. That blind, irrational exuberance is extremely frightening. But we'll see what happens. For it to go to 200, surely they'd have to print it extremely hard, and they can't even release sets properly without a delay. Don't you feel the likelihood of it getting to 200 is very low? No. No. Do I think the likelihood of a 5-month-old set going to under 130% of MSRP is low? No, I think it's higher. I think it's more likely to happen than not. there are so many avenues for that to happen that none of them, like some of them involve no additional printing. Like I can't guarantee it, but I'm quite confident if we are in an AI boom right now, if the S&P 500 drops 40% in the next 2 years, because today is like an AI boom the way 99 was a dot-com boom, if that comes to fruition and crypto drops 40-50% and the S&P drops 40-50%, I can't guarantee it, but I am pretty damn sure that Destin will go under 200 a box in that scenario. So that's a scenario where it could happen without another box being printed. On top of that, I think Pokemon will print more. Will it be boxes or will it just be packs? Or like, I don't know. I don't care, frankly. I navigate it the way that I'm navigating it. I tell you what I'm buying and selling, why I'm buying and selling it. But people like being so confident and being so like, oh no, like, and this is not at you, One Clicks, but I'm gonna be a little bit mean. People like furiously typing into their keyboard. I bought a box. I bought a box at $400 because my favorite PokeTuber told me it can't go down. This guy's scaring me. This guy is scaring me, saying me that my box might go down 50%. Like, that's the vibes that I get. And honestly, I think that's mostly correct. When people call me delusional for saying it can't go under 300, I think they're like holding back tears. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm worried that like this guy might be right and this stuff might tank. And it wouldn't even be tanking for Destin. Like, if and when Destin goes under 200 a box, the thumbnails, the videos, I'll do it too. People are so insane. People would call it a crash. In my opinion, if Destin goes under 200, that is not a crash. It is the price going to what it's intended to be. I've talked about it with the PS5. PS5s come out. MSRP is 500, 600, whatever it is. I don't care. They sell for $1,000 because there's a temporary demand. Demand's crazy. Everyone wants it. Everyone wants to get the first one to be there. But PS5s didn't crash to 500. Switch 2s didn't crash to whatever the MSRP is. They just became available at their intended price. So like if and when Destin goes sub 200, I'll call it a crash in a title because I want those clicks. That's not a crash. That's a product coming to market and becoming widely available at its intended price. People are just insane in this market. It's scary. Thoughts on the new Chinese exclusive 151 arts? I like them. There's a lot of cool ones. And what are your thoughts on the relatively low pop reports of the top hits from Prismatic? Do you think it's indicative of more people holding the set sealed? I don't know what the pop reports are of Prismatic. I think calling the pop report of anything from 2020 to current is kind of crazy. And it just goes back to the whole, like, 100 years from now, I am extremely confident in what the market will look like with respect to certain things. I think there will be certain standout things from this decade, from this era. But, like, people are delusional. I guarantee there are massive delusions going on. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to say 100 years from now. 100 years from now, these videos will look hilarious. Low pop Prismatic? What is Prismatic? Oh, is that set number 123 out of the 400 sets that exist in Pokemon? I think this stuff, like, some of this stuff will be hilarious in the way that it would have been hilarious to have Beanie Baby YouTubers back in 1999. I don't think Pokemon and people are just so lacking nuance, lacking brain cells, all this stuff. The lights are borderline turning red. I'm not going to turn the lights red, because if I do, I'll be live for another hour, and I don't want to be. But, some of the delusions going on in these comment sections, I'm not saying Pokemon's going to zero like Beanie Baby did, functionally. But, some of the comments are as crazy as the comments would have been back in Beanie Baby Bubble 2000, if there were YouTubers back then. I wish there were. It would have been amazing. But yeah, if Pokemon ceased to exist, I would be working with my dad some. He does HVAC. He does mechanic stuff. He does welding. He does fabricating. I would work with him a little bit while I figure out finance channel, barbecue channel, side hustling, food truck, catering, different graduation parties and birthday parties and whatever. I don't know. Is Pokemon the next Bitcoin? I don't think so. How do vendors make money buying at 80% market, buying at 80, selling at 100? That's regardless of selling avenue. If you sell in person, there's no fees. If you sell for cash, there's no fees. Taxes and fees will eat into the market price and leave them with close to 80% take home. Taxes don't eat into anything if you're cash basis and you put it back into inventory. Taxes are like a very nuanced thing. You only pay it on the net gain. So if I make $1 million buying at 80% and selling it at 100%, and I'm cash based and I just buy $1 million worth of product, I pay 0 in taxes. If I put it into my buckets, if I put it in my 401k IRA, I pay 0 in taxes on the money that goes into those buckets. Continuing on. Once Destined Rivals booster boxes hit the vending machines, it'll go down to about $2.30 a box. I could definitely see. I've been getting 8 to 9 surging and mega booster boxes a week now from my vending machine security guard homie. That's hilarious. Destined won't go under 200 until other SV sets go lower than 200. Just saying. Why though? Well, like that doesn't have to be the case. Destined could absolutely go sub 200 with SV base staying above 200. I picked SV base at random. Like it could be SV base, it could be Twilight Masquerade, it could be like Destined Rivals is going to be printed for the next 2 years. Destined Rivals could be printed 10 times as much as Twilight Masquerade was, for all we know. Like to say that Destined Rivals can't go lower than 200, while Twilight Masquerade or Stellar Crown, like that's just made up. That's not real. That is overconfidence in something that you have no control over. Respectably, people get really overconfident in saying these things that they just have no clue on. That's my take, at least. Maybe I'm the clueless one. Maybe I'm the delusional one. I don't know. The fact that I'm reminded of how insane people are in their thinking makes me wonder how, but thankful I'm not in that boat. Pop rate on Prismatic is low because the hit rates are low. The product is expensive and hard to get a hold of. Okay, like Prismatic is expensive. Expensive is relative. Relative to MSRP, Prismatic is expensive. Prismatic is not hard to find. Go on eBay. Go on Whatnot. Go on Fanatics. Go on eBay. Anyone and everyone will rip you Prismatic. You may not like the price, but the product is there. Prismatic is not scarce. Okay, yes, I agree. The price is above MSRP, but like Prismatic exists in very large amounts, and I think a lot more Prismatic will be printed. So like some of these lines of thinking, I am just wholly rejecting, and I could not disagree more with certain statements that are being made. Is there a world where like where Destined doesn't go under 200? Yes. Is there a world where Destined only goes under 200 after every other SV set does? Yes. But are there many worlds where Destined goes sub 200 and all of SV1 through SV5 stays above 200? Yes. Like I am not guaranteeing, but I am extremely confident SV1 through SV5 booster boxes won't get a reprint. Simultaneously, I am extremely confident Destined Rivals booster boxes will get a reprint. They could print 5 million more Destined Rivals booster boxes in the next 2 years, and it could go to $199 a box, and SV1 through SV5 could all be above 200. They could go above 300 by then. But like, this is just a crazy thing to say, in my opinion. With any amount of confidence. And it seems like you have a high level of confidence that that statement is true, when I think it's like horribly flawed. But again, my thoughts, your thoughts, like I'm navigating with my ideas in mind, and everyone should navigate with their own ideas in mind, and we're all adults and blah, 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 blah. How do you feel about SV1 through SV4, which are very soon going out of print, soon being April 2026? The chance of them printing 1 to 4 booster boxes, especially sets, is very low. Yeah, I like SV1 through SV4 significantly more than I like SV8 through SV10, because they're extremely unlikely to print. Correct. They could print 5 million booster boxes of Destined Rivals, and it still might not go under 200. But it also might go under 100. We're talking 200. It might go under 100. Like, that could happen. Will it happen? I don't know. People just want something to believe in, Dan. Don't take that away from them. Why do you think people turn to a religious omnipresence? Oh man, we're getting too deep now. Because the hobby bases sets on popularity, and most of Scarlet and Violet won't be remembered as much. I think your logic is horribly flawed. But like, I might be proven wrong in that there's two ways for me to be proven wrong, and you right. I'm thinking probabilistically, and I realize though that only one reality will happen. There are two ways for me to be wrong. One, Destined Rivals never goes under 200, so then I'm just wrong on that. Two, Destined Rivals might go under 200, but only after SV1, SV2, SV3, SV4, and so on, all go under 200. I think that's really, really unlikely. I think SV1 through SV8 all going under 200 is quite unlikely. Like less than a 50% chance. I think the odds of a Destined Rivals booster box going under 200 is more than 50%. So like fundamentally, I just disagree so strongly. Like I couldn't disagree stronger, honestly. But that's what makes this all fun. That like if we were all in agreement, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, and it was all obvious and everyone knew and everyone got everything right, like it would just be boring, right? It's more fun because we disagree on things. Would you ever start a second podcast or going to stay loyal to PokeFlips? PokeFlips is only every other week. There could exist a world where I do 2 podcasts, both every other week, and they just alternate. That's what this is. This is just a solo podcast to some extent. If and when that were to happen, I would do these less. If I started a second podcast, it would probably be every other week in between PokeFlips. It would be where the lives are now, and I would do the lives maybe once a month or something. But yeah, I'm not like entirely against. It would be a big ask though to start a second podcast. I don't know if I ever will. Would you sell Fusion Strike for more cheaper booster boxes? I would sell Fusion Strike for anything. I have 2 Fusion Strike booster boxes I currently own that I just bought at 75, 80% in a massive collection, and I will gladly sell them at 100 to 105% of market, hopefully. And I will put that money into a million other things. So I'm always buying, always selling everything. There's no world I live in where Paradox Rift will be a better bet than Destined. No, nor will it be worth more. Are you saying like, are you saying in 3 years from now or 5 years from now? Or are you saying there will not be a day where you go to TCG Player and Paradox Rift is a higher price per box than Destined Rivals? I think that's highly likely to happen on a day where tons of Destined gets printed, because I don't think any more Paradox is coming. Like, I agree fundamentally. If you go way back, I think EX Team Rocket Returns, EX Unseen Forces, I think they are better sets than EX Ruby and Sapphire. But there was still a day, likely, that like some of those earlier worse EX era sets that didn't even have gold stars, they were probably more expensive for some time because the other sets were like currently in print at that time. There were days where Flashfire was less expensive than some of the late black and white sets, because the late black and white sets were like out of print, and I think Flashfire is a better set. But like, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that you would have any level of confidence in that. But I'm saying that, and you're not alone. Like Paradox Rift right now is 266 market price. Destined Rivals is 376. For you to think it's highly unlikely, I think that's crazy. Destined Rivals is 5 months old. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Yeah, no hard feelings whatsoever. I will start buying Destined Rivals when it gets to 30 a box. I would buy it 30 a box. Has Plumber asked you to come on his podcast? No. If and when he does, I absolutely would. I think on a long enough timeline, he probably will. I have a Fusion Strike half booster box. Do you think that'll be easy to move? Yes, it just depends on what rate you want. Yeah, I'm not getting mad at you at all. Like, I just think I think there's a lot of crazy thoughts out there, and I think that's one of the thoughts that are crazy to me. But it might pan out to be right. Dan's face in the thumbnail is him trying to talk sense into his live chat. It's Japanese, so I guess it doesn't matter, but Lost Abyss is more expensive than 151 today. 151 is arguably a better, more popular set. What's with 10% drops making the Timmies go bonkers? What happens when things drop 25%? I am, with the amount of delusion out there in the hobby, I'm going to end with this too. No more questions. with the amount of delusion out there in the hobby, I am genuinely scared for if and when I'm correct, if and when Destined Rivals goes under 200, because Timmies, dummies, whatever you want to call them, they will deem that a crash, and that's scary that people would deem that a crash. But with that, I'm gonna end. I'm just one guy navigating this market best I can. I'm putting my predictions out there. I could be wrong on any of this. So with that, I appreciate you.